All right, guys. Tyler, hello. Welcome back, everybody. We have a very special guest, a good personal friend of mine, Vic Martinez. I hate the guy, but I love him. I'm not going to lie. He's a retired Paterson cop, Paterson, New Jersey. It's a very beautiful city in New Jersey. Not a lot of crime or anything. Vic retired after 25 years in December 2022. Vic, you're retired as a sergeant, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, look at that. I remember that. Sergeant, you were one of the founding members of the ERT team, correct?
I wouldn't say I wasn't one of the founding members. I was one of the part of the group that started that whole thing.
Yeah, that's their version, because every police department has to do something totally different. The emergency response team, which is just basically a SWAT team. Vic started out of that as a regular patrolman, then became a team leader, then he got sergeant, and then he was a K9 guy there, right, Vic?
Yep, K9 2013, I got my first dog.
Yeah, and you did 2 dogs, right? 2 or 3? I don't remember.
2.
See, I did, see? So
you pay attention.
Vic's got some good stories. We're going to talk to him, get to know him I know him already, so Tyler's really got to get to know him. Tyler won't get to know Vic like I know him from our days of drinking in New York City or New Jersey. When I came home on leave from active duty and just doing stupid shit. We will bring up we will bring up the Steve-O skateboard story. That is that is a good classic drinking story. Probably one of the most classic things I've ever witnessed drinking.
Love it.
But Tyler, I turn it over to you and you start talking to him. I want to finish my chips. I know it's
your hummus.
Yeah, make sure you mute that though too.
No shit, Sherlock. Okay.
Well, I like him better already because his beard is glorious. So you're still working on yours. You're
a little salty.
I shave.
Salty.
I shave. I'm not a beard person. Okay.
Clearly, eat your hummus, bro.
All right.
Vic, thank you for coming on, brother. I'm excited to talk to you. So you're checking a lot of boxes for the show, supervisor, ERT, and K9, and then also life after, which is exciting. But I appreciate you being on, and I'm looking forward to getting into it with you, man. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I just like to start off, we talked a little bit before, but kind of like go over like how you were raised, where you grew up, kind of what led you to the path of being in law enforcement.
I grew up in lovely Paterson, New Jersey, as Adam was referring it to.
Oh, okay.
So to serve in the same city you grew up in was definitely an honor. And you look at things from a different lens when you're working in your hometown, especially in law enforcement. Growing up, had a single mom. My dad had his issues. He was dead by the time I was 15. So it was just my mom and dad split up very early on when I was young. So it was basically just me, my mom, and my brother living in Paterson. Grew up with single mom stuff.
Yeah.
As my brother says, we weren't poor, we were just broke. So we had to make, sometimes it was Sophie's choice, whether it was food, heat, water, cable, all that stuff. So definitely humble beginnings. Growing up, I played sports, football, basketball, baseball, all that stuff in the town, Paterson. I guess growing up also, I could have went on either side of the fence. I wasn't a bad kid. I was just a pain in the ass growing up. My favorite weapon of choice was my pea shooter. I used to bring that to school.
Yeah.
You're still a pain in the ass, dude. All right. We all know that.
I was, the kid I was trying to cheat off tests and doing all that fun stuff, trying to look up girls' dresses, all that stuff. So that was kind of like my upbringing. So
Got it.
Could have gone either way for sure.
What do you think kept you from doing that?
Kept me
from
honestly
going the other way.
Going the other way, I think it was because I saw some of the things that were happening to some of the kids I played sports with. They were getting involved in some crazy stuff. A lot of guys went on to play college football. It didn't make it very far because they were getting in trouble when they went away from Paterson. That's usually kind of what ends up happening. Like once you're in Paterson, you're kind of like indoctrinated into that whole culture. So it's kind of, Paterson's a pretty tough city, but it was like an old school town. Like when your neighbors knew who you were and they were always like looking out for you and things like that. So it was definitely the community aspect of things.
Yeah, that's nice. So what year would that be? Like the 80s?
Yeah. That was like, let's see. Yeah. So I went to high school in 1990. Yeah. So that was like in the late 80s.
Yeah. So your childhood was in the 80s. There's a lot of similarities because I kind of had a very similar upbringing where single mom, there's a bunch of backstory between that, but I played all the sports and I hung out. We did all the party, do a party until 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, school night. Didn't matter. So it was like wherever the party was. And very similar because I had a few friends, acquaintances, whatever you call them now from, 25 years ago that overdosed and died on drugs and stuff. So that was kind of like, don't want to go out that way. So I'm hearing what you're saying.
Yeah, just with my father's path and things like that. I never touched any drugs or anything like that. So that was definitely a big no for me.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I feel like the odd man out because I grew up like I had both my parents. My dad was a doctor. I'm like the upper middle class kid and shit like that. And
yeah, you are.
I'm a bigger degenerate than the two of you combined. So I'd like to point that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
that's usually how it works, though.
That is how it works because we already learned our lessons before I went to college, and then it was like I don't want to do that. Adam was like, "Oh, I'm free."
I do like to point out that I did spend the night in jail in Wildwood, New Jersey, when I was 18. So I've been on the inside, so I know what it's like.
You've been on the inside of Wildwood.
The whole 6 hours, man. I had to pee in a cell and everything.
I have to imagine it is because you were calm, cool, and collected when speaking to law enforcement. That's why you went to jail.
No, I was drunk as a skunk.
Shit.
I broke a beer bottle in a garbage can and there was a cop right at the light and put me in cuffs and everything.
Oh my God.
That's definitely a class 2.
Yeah, for sure.
No, he was a sergeant at the time and he actually ended up becoming chief down there.
Oh, damn.
That's a funny story we can tell another time when I got getting my first secret clearance, having to like go through the questioning about that. Do you drink and drive? I'm like, I remember because I was at infantry officers course and they're like, "Hey, Lieutenant Mack, you got to go up there and talk to this investigator." I'm like, "Do you know what for, sir?" He's like, "I don't know." I go there and I sit down. I'm like, "Oh yeah, my underage drinking thing." In there for an hour, questioning and all this stuff, and I come out and the one captain, he's like, "What happened?" I was like, "Oh, I got arrested when I was 18, sir, for underage drinking." He goes, "Oh, okay, that's nothing big." That's it. They didn't even. The Marine Corps didn't care one bit, but the DOD when they're giving you security clearances, they want to know all that stuff.
Yeah, they want to see if there's something more. So we get to high school. Well, anything stand out for you in high school, or what was the transition from that period?
Yeah, so I went to high school in Paterson for a little while. Ended up getting playing basketball there, and then I decided after the Christmas break I was going to transfer to another school, and which I did. And my sophomore year at that new school, my father passes away.
Got it.
And that kind of, I don't know how, like looking back on it, I think it directly impacted me more than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of just put me in a different frame of mind. And I guess I get still more like the rebellious teenager stuff. So that was kind of like that's the kind of road I went down. Gotcha. Nothing terrible. It was just being a dick, basically.
Understand that.
You still are. Actually, Tyler, I can be honest. Like I've known Vic. Vic, how long have I known you? Like almost 25 years. Or like since maybe even
definitely
longer.
Right along.
Yeah, and Vic was never a dick one bit to like meeting him for the first time. Or he never was like. Vic's actually like, and this will be the only nice thing I say about you during this interview or anything. Like Vic's actually a really good guy. The one story I like to talk about, like what sticks out with Vic is. When I was in the reserves going to Afghanistan in 2011, we had like a little going away party down the shore. We were going to Leggett's in Manasquan, New Jersey, which I'm pretty sure that my friends and I through the years built one of the additions on that for the amount of money we spent on alcohol there. But Vic was like, Vic stopped by. He's like, "You got to go do something with the kids or something." I remember.
Yeah.
He stopped by to hang out and say hi and goodbye and shit like that. And that always stuck with me. And I'll always remember that, like, even though as much as I hate you and everything like that, but it was fucking cool. And Vic's always checked in on me with everything that's gone on in life and shit. And he's just, we won't text for like 6 months at a time, and it'd just be like we'll just start texting, and it's like 20 minutes of just making fun of people we know and each other horrifically.
As you should, as one does.
Yeah,
got it. So did you go to college after high school?
I paid tuition.
Fair. All right. So you paid the bill, but you didn't. Did you finish, or how did that go for you?
No, I definitely did not finish. So I instead of going to class and things like that, I was out gallivanting around and playing open hockey and doing things like that. So I did play hockey when I was younger, and I would be a rink rat, and I would just go to the rinks and play any open slot I could if it was during the day or the mornings or whatever, and not go to class. So that didn't go over well with my mom, and she gave me the speech of, you're never going to be anything in your life until you start buckling down.
Yeah.
And I went to EMT school. My mom's a nurse.
Okay.
So she was a nurse in Paterson.
Okay.
So at the time, she was kind of giving me options and like the things that she thought that I'd be good with.
Yeah.
And one of them was coming in EMT, which I did. And I actually got hired for the city of Paterson on their EMS division, which is through the fire department. I think more of the reason why I did not want to go down the path that I did, because it was basically the same path as my father was on. And I was like, man, I'm either going to go down this path and end up just like him, or do I go down this path and kind of right the wrongs that he did?
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a 50-50 thing for me. So I think maybe it was just a blessing in disguise of doing the path that I went down.
Yeah. No, fair enough. So that's interesting. You're, I think, the second or third person I've talked to that in law enforcement that started off as EMT or had thoughts of going in that direction and then switched. So was that like kind of you were EMT for a while and then went over to law enforcement, or did you have some stuff in between?
Yeah, I was a baby when I started on the ambulance. I was just turned 20.
Jeez.
Yeah. And, you got
seeing some shit at 20 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. So we were busy, busy division.
That's before they merged the EMT became like everybody on the rig was a firefighter because
Paterson So that was because that was like the early 2000s when they changed that. So it was still like a civilian EMS, but it was paid fire, and there was two separate entities. So all the supervisors for EMS were civilians, and they had a captain who was, I guess, like an overall command because he was part of the fire department. So we fell under them. So we ran out of the firehouses.
Well, that's kind of cool. As a Brotherhood type deal going on.
They're definitely different than police officers. That's for sure.
Yeah, the house is like house. Every house.
Yeah.
You mean there's not as many knives and backs as like being a cop.
That's very true.
Yeah, for sure.
I
don't know about nowadays, but back then, I mean, I had some guys when I started on the ambulance that they were in Vietnam. They were like just KG veterans, and they basically I grew up very fast, and I grew up even faster when I was talking to those guys.
Yeah,
they basically told me, keep your mouth shut, keep your eyes and ears open, and you just listen and look and make sure, they taught me how to be a man, basically, at a young age.
Yeah.
Looking back, I mean, it was definitely a big learning experience, and it gave me a lot of tools when I went to law enforcement.
So how old were you when you started in law enforcement?
So I started the ambulance in 96. I went to the academy in 99.
Okay. So you had about, 3 years on you.
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as like working in the city and like knowing the layout of the streets and kind of how the inner workings worked as far as, being in public service.
Yeah.
It definitely helped when I became a cop.
Was there like a point or something that, I don't know, triggered that change for you to, instead of, you're with all the firemen? To me, that would just make sense. I'm going to be a fireman. Is there something that said, nah, I don't want to do that. I want to do this?
Well, a funny story was when I had just graduated high school, and my mom was, like I said, my mom was a nurse.
Yeah.
But she was in charge of the training division of the hospital. So she basically taught ACLS and PALS and all stuff like that for the entire hospital, as well as the fire department. Like they would do their basic life support stuff, and they would bring all the tests in, and she would have to certify and, give the cards and do all that stuff. So one of the chiefs, who I actually know, comes up to her and says, "Hey, your son's graduating high school." And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "You still live in town?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, we're hiring, and we're hiring big." That's when they had a big buyout for their pensions. So they bought out, I forget how many years you had to have on, but they bought people out, and they actually hired like 175 or 150 new firefighters.
Okay.
So it was basically a brand new department. So they started, basically erased all the high salaries, and they got all these entry level guys. So they're saving money that way.
Yeah.
And my mom comes home. She's like, I was talking, and you can take the fire test. You're 18, and that's all you need is a high school diploma, and you have that. And I was like, I don't want to be a fireman. That's stupid.
Now you're kicking yourself in the ass, aren't you?
Oh my God. I would 18 years old. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
God. at 25 years and doing, being 18, that's crazy. That's
I know
crazy.
you'd be on a second career now. Like you'd be like halfway through your second career almost.
Oh yeah, definitely. So you're looking back, I mean, maybe that wasn't just the path for me.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I think we're getting to, Tyler, is the, like, how did I become a cop?
Yeah. Like what triggered that desire or whatever it ended up being for you?
Because
I mean, you did it for over 20 years. So obviously you enjoyed it, but what was the motivator to get you into it?
There was no motivation. There was
Fair.
a bunch of guys I worked with on the ambulance. I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
The guys were telling me to take the police test. And I was like, I have no idea how to even go. Like, what do I have to do? They're like, well, we're taking it and you should take it. I'm like, well, like I said, I had no idea what we were talking about. I didn't even know where to begin.
Yeah.
So like, you got to go to the library. Remember those libraries?
Oh, yeah.
You had to get the civil service card and you had to fill it out and then submit it to civil service. So you're eligible for the test.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
But you had to pay. Remember, you had to pay by county. Like, didn't you have to pay per count or what you wanted to be certified for?
When you check the boxes, you had to pay for how many boxes you checked or whatever. So I ended up doing that and I submitted the thing. And then next thing you know, I get a letter in the mail saying that I'm going to take the test on whatever date. I'm like, oh boy. So I was like, I'm not really good at taking tests. So I went to one of those study groups, got a little study guide. And in 1997, I got my certification letter and I was going to police academy.
So my path was very different. So I'm just interested in the way things are done in different places.
It was dumb. Like my path was just dumb. It was like nothing cool, nothing interesting. It was a dumb path.
So the way Tyler, there's two ways for departments in Jersey that you get hired. It's either civil service or a chief's town. So a chief's town, it's like a chief's test. The department runs a test. You don't have to, there's usually no restrictions or anything like civil service. So like Vic, but at the time you apply, like for Paterson, you have to have a Paterson residence. You can't live in Toto where I grew up and take the Paterson test because you won't get hired. So like New Jersey, like a lot of the civil service towns have these weird residencies. So Newark's the biggest town in Jersey. If you want to be on Newark, you got to have, and by the time you apply to take the civil service test, you have to live in Newark. Like Clifton's another town. You can live in either Passaic and Essex County. Jersey's so messed up. But like a chief's town, most of them, they pretty much make their own rules. They're like, they could say like Ramsey, where I was on, was a chief's town. They could say like, okay, we're going to take, if you have a residency, we're going to give you this much preference and this, and they don't have to give you like civil service that gives you veterans preference. Chiefs towns don't. Civil service, you don't have to take a PT test to go to the academy. Chiefs test, you do a test, and a lot of the towns have a PT test. So it's weird. And then so like promotions, forget it. Like civil service is like done by a test, and then they certify the list and say like, oh, these guys did good, we can promote within this list. Chiefs towns, they say there's tests or interviews. No, it's just who the chief wants or the count, like who's ever kissing ass that much that week, or who the council likes and shit like that. I mean, They can do stuff like that in a civil service town, but it's a little harder. They got to use a little more voodoo math and voodoo economics and stuff like that.
Gotcha. So you get in, you go. What was the academy like for you?
So Paterson had their own academy, so it was like Paterson rules.
Okay.
It was, I mean, I'll keep this story short. There was, well, we got first, they call us in, they tell us that we're getting hired, and then we're going through the process, buying all the stuff that we need and getting the list done and doing all the stuff. Then they tell us the academy is postponed indefinitely with no like clear start date at all.
Yeah.
And this is like I said, like 1997, I got the letter in the mail. 1998 goes by. We're going through all this stuff and we're still waiting. Now they call us in. They're like, well, we don't know when this is happening. So don't quit your jobs or anything like that. So already on the ambulance, I wrote a letter. It was like an official report. It was called a 218. It was like our official report. So I wrote the official report saying that, this will be my last week. I'm going to the police academy as of such a date. And I put it in the mailbox after the supervisor left. And I left it sticking out just a little bit. So if there was any kind of nonsense going on where they were going to, postpone it again when they called us all in, I could just go back to headquarters and pull the thing out of the
smart,
the mailbox. Yeah, that's from the old fireman teaching me how to be crafty.
There you go. There you go.
So I I wrote this letter. They call us in. They say that we don't know when we're starting.
Yeah.
And I just pulled the thing out, and I was like, I never even, put my 2 weeks in or anything like that. So I just kept my shifts and everything else like it was normal.
Nice. So
But
eventually,
January.
Yeah.
What was that?
I was going to say, how far after that, Vic, did they start the academy?
Yeah.
So January 1999 is when we actually started.
Okay.
Jeez.
But prior to that, we would meet. There was 63 of us. They're all Paterson. 63 cops that were going in the academy, and I'd say for like 6 months prior, we met at Eastside Park for PT.
Good. I love that.
So we PT'd all the time. We had one of the guys from Paterson. He would kind of lead the. But then once all that stuff happened, they're like, well, listen, we don't know when this is happening. Like, I'm not really supposed to be here and things like that. So we just kept doing it on our own.
Yeah.
And it was like months when we kept doing it. And then after PT, what do you go do when you're 20 something years old?
Go play.
Go play.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. So that whole time, it kind of brought us together like even closer. So by the time the academy rolled around, like forget it, like PT stuff, like you ain't breaking us.
Yeah.
All that stuff was like, I'd say like 4 weeks in, we were already going out after, the academy and things like that. So we were already,
You already got it.
yeah, we already got it. So we were probably the biggest degenerate class that the department's ever had, but
fun though. It had to be fun. And that camaraderie,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's great. Instead of having to do it on the fly, that's actually that's a good concept.
Yeah,
anyway.
So we were pretty tight as going in, and we were definitely ready for the PT aspect of it.
Oh, that's awesome. So then you get cut loose, or you're on the road. You still, I mean, to me, I started when I was 28, so I was a little older, but whatever. It's like thinking back now, it's like, God, there's so much I didn't know. I had no fucking clue what I was getting into, and you're even younger, and now you're on the road, and and let me back up a little bit. Because I was a military brat, so I moved around all the time. So I didn't have like a hometown I could grow up in and be a cop in. That idea is interesting to me. What was that like for you? Because you knew the area, you knew a lot of the people you're probably dealing with.
I did. I remember one of the first days, like after the academy, I go on patrol, and I get a wanted flyer, and it was for a kid I played football with.
Oh wow!
It was a bolo for an armed robbery, and I knew the kid. I was like, this is crazy. So
I know that guy.
Yeah, I know that guy. But I mean, working for the city you grew up in is definitely it's definitely an honor. And you look at, the caretaking aspect is way bigger. I guess it's on a bigger scale because like you live there, you grew up there, and it's like you're kind of giving back to the community. And it's I mean, I wouldn't change a thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, so BJ, the other guy, my buddy who's on here a lot as well, he's similar. He grew up in the same area where he still works. And I remember we were cut loose and we had an armed robbery, and we're interviewing people. We're doing our thing, and we're right in the middle of it. And somebody's like, "Yo, BJ, what's up, man?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Hey, no." We're doing our job, but no. So how
you guys
long were
didn't you guys didn't have Bergen County problems I had like Mrs. Smith was complaining about Mr. Jones' leaves on her front lawn and stuff like that. That's real.
No, they would just
That's real crime.
They would set those leaves on fire.
No. Bergen County residents, come on, you know that they're paying all those taxes. They want their cops, their hired thugs to go take care of everything for them.
That's WPP, man. That's white people problems.
Yeah. Well, one of the other podcasts we had when we were doing 56th in Tyler with BJ.
Yeah.
And I said the biggest bane of my existence as a cop is suburban white women. and my buddy who is a buddy from the Marine Corps, Japanese guy, cop out in San Jose, great dude. We deployed together. Texts me the next day. He was cracking up. He goes, "Oh, that's every civil servant's bane of existence." It truly is.
Yeah, let me tell you, when I went from Hillsborough to Maine to be a trooper, Hillsborough, I was stabbing, I was shooting. There was a shooting somewhere in the county every night, a stabbing, something like that. Burglaries, domestics, like brutal. I mean, just run the gambit. There wasn't really that many like stupid, whatever, inane calls. And then I go to be a trooper in Maine, which fucking loved it. It was amazing. I loved the training, and I worked some really good cases. But I will say a lot of the calls were like, holding for 8-9 hours, and it was saying his strawberries are growing on his side of the lawn or some shit. And I was like, I remember one of those I got, because I dealt with it so many times. I got out. I don't even know what I said. It was like what was that movie? Old School or whatever, where he just blacks out. But I've verbally assaulted these two old men about their waste of my fucking time. When Will Ferrell's like debating, he's like, "What did I say?" I don't even know what I said. Their faces got white, and I was angry, and I just got back in my car, and they never called again. But I was like, "This is the stupidest fucking shit."
That would never fly nowadays in 2025 police world.
Yeah.
Sorry. So correct me if I'm wrong, Vic. Paterson's what, like 7 square miles or something? It's
actually you're close. It's actually 8 square miles. It's I think
it's bigger than Rhode Island.
Probably.
I think Rhode Island's like 7 square miles.
Vic, what's the population? Like 110 or 150,000?
No, I think it's more than that. I think it was like 250,000.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But then they have they did something like how many transients, like, people come in like during the regular business hours. It's like through the roof. So
no, but like Paterson's a super busy town, Tyler. They're like when Vic first started, there was 2 hospitals there. There was St. Joe's, which is like a big trauma center for the area.
That's where my mom was.
Yeah, that's where my dad worked out of there. So it's a really good hospital. But people are like, "You're going to St. Joe's? It's in Paterson." Oh my God! I'm like, give me a break, dude. It's right there. It's right by the hitching post. It's not a bad area.
Yeah.
That's a local strip club right there on the border of Paterson and Clifton. Never been there. I just heard that's what it's called.
Sure.
What was the other one, Vic?
Then you got Barnard Hospital.
Yeah, but that closed down, right? Or is it still there?
I think it's still there.
I don't know, but so it was a bit. It's a condensed town, Tyler, but it's like, and there's a big transient population. You get a lot of Vic. That's what I want to ask you. Like the demographics when you grew up there to when you started being a cop when you left. Like back then, it was like, I think when you grew up, it was predominantly what? Italian, Hispanic, and Black, right? That was the 3.
Yeah, that was like the 3.
Yeah,
major groups. Like a lot of Italians, old school Italians, gardens in the backyard, the whole shebang. A lot of concrete, a lot of they're like retaining walls. I mean, it was awesome.
Get rid of the grass; it's all concrete except for their garden area. That is a New Jersey Italian thing. But then
Hispanic and Black, really, those are like the 3 major groups. Now it's like a huge, big. Well, South Paterson was always Middle Eastern.
Yeah, big Palestinian.
They had like a lot of Turkish, Palestinian. There's a lot of Syrian. That's a whole big melting pot over there on South Paterson.
Yeah,
but that's also spills into Clifton too. There's a big like Arab population there. Like I remember I went there like to a Syrian grocery store to get cookies for Lucy's class because her country was Egypt and they had them there.
Oh, there you go.
And I walked in and it was like a record player going off. And it was a pretty big, like they looked at like white dude with my hair like this. They're like I was waiting for someone to be like, "Are you with the FBI or CIA?" Because we told them everything we know already. Just leave. But I think there's still a big Spanish, but that's predominantly like the biggest thing there is still Spanish, right? Spanish and Arabic.
Yeah.
I don't think there's that big of not as big as a Black population anymore.
That's so I I still talk to the guys. They said that the Dominican population there is very big.
Yeah.
That's like they're probably the most, that and
Peru.
A lot of Bengali.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember.
Right.
Yeah. So
they're kind of, there's pockets. Patterson has his pockets everywhere now. So it's definitely a diverse city.
Yeah. The melting pot.
Yeah. If you want to find any food, Tyler, you go to Paterson and you can find something. And, I don't like if you're like, oh, I really want Turkish food. Like, where should we go? Go to Paterson, brothers. There's definitely a Turkish stand somewhere.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of reason to go to Jersey, but when I do, the food is amazing.
Easy there, Tyler.
Yeah.
I'm saying the food is amazing. That's all I'm saying.
It sure is.
Yeah,
I'm 100%. Like that should be on your state flag, the diners, because I fucking love them.
But also,
I'll eat a bagel while I'm waiting for my other bagel to finish cooking.
Attaboy.
And one of the I know Jersey gets a bad rap, but Jersey has a lot of people are really not that big of assholes as everybody thinks it is.
They're not as bad as New York. I'll agree with that.
I've been to other states where
Manhattan, the city, anyways. I can't speak for the state, but yeah.
We'll get to that later, Tyler. I'll tell you about my new job.
Oh yeah, well that's what I'm excited to get into. Yeah. Well, all right. So, how long were you on the road before? Did you go from the road to sergeant? Because I want to get into some of your special team stuff. Just
yeah. So 99, I graduated the academy.
Yep.
I think I was on the road we didn't have FTOs back then.
Really? Holy shit.
No,
Okay.
no.
All right. That's
so I got
crazy.
called. I think it was my third day on the road. I get called into the captain's office, and the lieutenant wants to see me for the shift. And he's like, "Hey, you work the ambulance?" I said, "Yeah." He said, How well do you know the streets?" I'm like, "I know the streets very well."
Yeah.
He's like, "Good. You're by yourself tonight." It's my third day on the road.
Oh my God.
He's like, "If
That's
you got
crazy.
any questions, call the two guys next to you."
Whoa.
That was it.
That's
There I was.
wild. That's
3 days on the road.
Yeah,
do they still have? Do they have field training now, Tyler? Or you don't know? I mean, Vic.
Yeah, they do now.
Yeah.
Yes, they have. Yes.
Yeah, that's
thank
like
God.
I'm like
It's
because
not-
I know NYPD too back in the day. Like used to be like they would just put you out like and that's it. And then
definitely trial by fire. That's for sure.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
know LAPD's like 8 or 9 months field training.
Yeah.
I
For sure.
remember one of the guys telling me his buddy was when I was at DS. One of my buddies was San Diego cop, and he was a former Marine too. And he was telling me like his buddy when he went to LAPD, he gets there and he's in long sleeves with the tie on. He's got his quarter frame shoes on. He gets there like first or second day of FTO, and he gets with his FTO officer, and he has shorts. The FTO short sleeve officer's like, "Hi." He goes, and the guy's like, "Shut the fuck up. You don't talk unless I talk to you. Just fucking listen and learn." He goes, "You see what I'm wearing?" "Yes, sir." He goes, "Well, you're not wearing it until I tell you you can wear it. So what you're wearing now is what you come in every day in." And he had, like for like months, he had to come in with the core for until they were like, "Okay, you can come in with short sleeves and do normal." Like buddies I talked to that like had new LAPD buddies, like they like other towns get written up for like trying to pick up chicks on duty. You get written up in LA for like you go to an alarm call and you use wrong tactics to clear a building and shit like that. They're like,
yeah, they're very big on tactics over there.
yeah,
For sure.
We train with some of those guys.
yeah, because some of the, like most of their dudes within the first 6 months, there's like a percentage of each academy that they get to a shooting, like
Oh yeah,
that's
if not
wild.
multiple shootings.
Yeah. No, that's No, for sure. So you get cut loose, but like how long were you on the road before you got promoted? Like what was the turnaround?
All right. So yeah, here I am on patrol. That was what, 99. I graduated. Yeah, graduated 99. And I was on the road until 2000 on patrol.
All right.
And I didn't really want to go any other spot until I got word that this was the emergency response team. They were reforming it. It was going to be revamped and redone. And once I heard who the boss was, who the team commander was going to be, it was a no-brainer. I jumped all over it. And Adam has known my team commander since he was a youngster. And I would go through a burning building for that man. I would do anything for him.
Now, is this the guy we make fun of all the time, or
No,
I know who you're talking
DB.
about. Yeah. Yeah. So Tyler, like I knew who the team commander was. Like he used to own a gym in the early 90s and we used to go down there, and he's not a man of many words, bro.
Don't have to be all the time.
If he liked you,
yeah,
you may or may have not known, but like if he liked you, you were like taken care of. And
Got
like he was a good guy. He really was an awesome guy, man. He's like, again, guy of not many words, and Vic knows him a lot better than I do. And he literally put a solid team together, bro. Like, I mean, like talking about LAPD, I mean, you had like former LAPD SWAT guys come out and run training for you guys, right? Yeah.
Yes. The LAPD, they did our HRT stuff and our K9 stuff.
That's awesome. That's such a unique concept, and I don't know why more people don't do it. But yeah, a good team leader, a good leader that's what happens, right? You will run through a wall. You'll do whatever it takes because you trust them or you respect them like that. So I definitely understand what you're saying.
And Vic, you had, I'm sorry, Tyler, your guys from the get-go was a full-time team, right?
Yeah. So
that's like also unique, by the way. And I think it's a great idea, but
yeah, well, we had a pretty big squad once we got going.
Yeah.
So for 2006, I get word that this is forming, and there's a physical and a psych test, the whole shebang. So I'm like, all right, I'm game, I'm ready.
Which he made me take the psych test for him, and he still failed.
So he ended up going through this whole process, and next thing you know, we get word that we're starting SWAT school.
Yeah.
In March of 2006.
Okay.
And it was a 2-week SWAT school. We had a team leader from South Florida. He was actually a former Delta guy. He ran our class. We did a 2-week class with him. And then after we learned whatever he had to spill out, our team commander said, we're not roadworthy yet. We're not ready for jack shit yet. And we did another 2 weeks with him. So we were basically in school for a month.
Okay.
Monday through Friday, whenever we got done, that's when we got done. So if we started at 8 a.m. and we got done at 5, that's great. But if we weren't doing so hot, we were there till the job was done. And it could be 6, 7, 8, whatever time at night.
Yep.
And there was zero compensation for it. It was, you get the work done until we get it. And we end up on a good note, and then you can get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
That sounds
So,
like a man. That definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So from growing from looking back, I understand why, because it's such a sensitive position to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And he, knew we were going to be busy. But looking back, we would have like a, like those, like when you go to an auditorium, it had like those collapsible walls where you could like expand them.
Mm-hmm.
So he would take those collapsible walls, like in the inside of a classroom, and make them into like door-sized frames. He would make 3 of them in this big long wall, and we would just cross in button hook until the cows came home.
Yeah,
it was holster, unholster, quietly, footwork, just over and over, opposite side of the door, left to right, right to left, whatever you name it. And we did that for, I'd say 7, 8 hours a day.
Yeah,
just thousands and thousands of reps. Like understanding, like looking back, I'm like, what the hell why are we doing this? This is over and over again. And it was like he was just getting the foundations, just building and building and building until we got, we were a pretty busy team. And looking back, I'm like, man, if we didn't do all that stuff, we would have never been what we were.
Yeah. Now, the few Delta guys that I've ever had the opportunity to work with, they're very impressive, the way they shoot, the way they move, all that. And he's like, yeah, we shoot like 10,000 rounds a week, every week.
Yeah.
Do you know how exhausting that is?
Yeah.
When you think about it, you're like, oh yeah. And also, you have to really love it and understand what's happening, because that shit is boring. I think we shot like 1,000 rounds in one day, and I was like, Jesus, I was like, I need a Band-Aid for my shooting finger.
For a municipal police department SWAT team, we definitely shot a lot.
Yeah,
we shot a lot.
Yeah,
we had to beg, borrow, and steal for any range we can get, but we shot a lot.
When I was at State, there was 2 guys that were former Delta guys. One guy was a former sergeant major, and I think the one other guy was a former master sergeant. Great guys. The sergeant major was a lunatic, like nicest dude in the world, but like talk to him like in the third person. Like, remember Seinfeld? Jimmy's been checking you out. He's like, Mr. So-and-so is going to train you on this today. But the other guy, who was an awesome dude, he never we knew he was in Delta. He was a former Ranger, went to Delta. He never said like, oh yeah, I'm in Delta, but like you knew. And he was telling me when he, when they did operator training course, OTC, the course that they all go through for shooting, like to get certified in Delta. He said the first month they didn't shoot anything. They dry fired 8 hours a day, dry firing. He said the first
Same
time.
Shift.
Yeah, but people just say that, but like to do it, it's exhausting, and it is boring. It's mind numbing, but if you can buy into it and you get it, it just becomes second nature.
And he said when they, I think I told the story when we had Sergeant Major Devaney on, Tyler. I think I remember.
Yeah.
When they gave him rounds, Vic, they shot, and I don't remember if it was like 5 or 10 rounds, and they're all like, "What the fuck, dude? Why'd you waste our time with all this dry fire? We should have been shooting to like go down and check your targets." Like everybody was like that, bro. Like 10 rounds in a quarter. But we had guys served in the Marine Corps with Sergeant Major Devaney, absolute warrior and stud, awesome guy. Scout, did 30 years in, was scout sniper and everything like that. But he talked about like when he would take the regular companies and the infantry units and train them up in shooting, or even when he was a sergeant major of like the air wing, he would take them and he said he would start them out for like 2-3 days dry firing, hours on end, hands all bleeding and stuff like that. Marines bitched and moaned about it every time, but they're like, oh wait, Sergeant Major Devaney's going to train us. Okay, I don't care if I have to eat shit, I'll do it. I know I'm getting good training.
No, for sure.
So I was in the same position.
Yeah, it just reminded me like you're button hooking for hours, and it's easy to sit here and talk about it, and you can look back on it and laugh, whatever. But I'm sure while you're going through, you're like, "What the fuck?" But it all ties in.
Even like your draw stroke, your weapons handling, draw stroke. The worst thing that this man ever got in his hand was a camera phone, because he would just video, and he would. Oh my god! You want to talk about being under the gun.
Yeah, for sure.
And he would just shred you.
But I mean, yeah.
It was the same as Sergeant Major Devaney, because I know the guy he's talking about. If he liked you, he was just trying to make everybody better. That's right.
Yeah.
Right, Vic? That's all it was.
No, that's awesome. What was the decision to make it full time as opposed, because every agency I worked for, they were, they'd get called and have to either dress out or they always had to carry all their shit in the trunk or whatever. Like, was it right off the rip? You guys are full time? You knew you were going to be that busy or?
Yeah. So right off the rip, I think we had 27 guys.
Yeah, that's big.
And then we went up to almost, I think we were 30 or just over 30. We had 8 dogs at one point. I mean, we armed vehicle, you name it. I mean, we had it. Cars on the road 24 hours a day. Guys had their gear, we had full locker set. I mean, we had our own office.
You guys did a lot for the narcotics squad, right? That's one of the that was the
most of the bulk of the jobs were all narcotics.
Yeah, the bread and butter. So
yeah,
and again, I'm excited to have you on. You're the first one, but you don't learn how to drive an armored car or tactics, all that when you get your driver's license. There's it just takes, and some, even with all the training, I mean, you tell me, even with all the training, until you're doing it live, you don't know how it's, you don't really know how.
Before that thing even hit the road, Tyler, there was the amount of man hours that were with that armored vehicle. Once we got that thing, we had an instructor from LA County Sheriff's come out. And I mean, they're like you want to talk about guys that knew how to use an armored vehicle. They came, so they had 2 guys come out from them, and we went over that armored vehicle. And after they left, we trained for like another week on it. And it was just, everyone had to drive it. We all had to qualify with the vehicles. Everything was done, like looking back, everything was done for a reason, and everything was done for legitimate purposes. Like we all had to, know how to drive these things and operate them.
You got to get some WD-40 for that door.
I do.
Yeah,
I do. Well, so let me ask you this: was everybody cross trained? Like, was everybody skilled at all the aspects of the job? Or sorry,
yeah. So there was because we were, 30 guys. Looking at it from a PD standpoint, is a decent amount of guys.
Yeah,
at one point we had a 500-man department, so 30 guys out of 500 was pretty decent.
Yeah, for a full-time SWAT, for sure.
Yeah. And there was, most of the guys on the team, there was always a collateral duty, whether it was, towards the end, there was a robot and drone. So there's like guys that operated those, K9 handlers, breachers, snipers. Trying to think what else there was. You had your firearms instructors. There was a bunch of those.
Yeah.
Rifle instructors, rifle armors, handgun armors. So everyone had their collateral duty.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of different hats.
Did they have to do stuff for the whole department too, or were they just for ERT?
The instructors and the armors and stuff like that, they did stuff for the entire department too.
Okay.
And then the range master worked out of our office.
Okay.
So he didn't qualify the whole department and things like that, but he worked out of our office.
Because you guys still had the range in the basement there, right?
After, which it was Irene, I think, did that one in.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
Oh, wow. Hurricane Irene.
Is the headquarters still sinking there in town?
Yeah, the headquarters might be only like 2 floors now. It's definitely sinking.
Still going down. So let me get this straight. Your ERT during this time period.
Oh, dude, 2006 was, well, first of all, 1999 was a crazy year. Went to the academy. I got married in March and I had a kid in July.
Oof.
So you want to talk about 3 life-altering experiences.
All at one time, yeah.
All at one time. And in 2006, I go to the ERT. I get divorced.
Okay.
And then get promoted to sergeant in December of 2006.
Damn. Okay. All right. Okay. That's a lot. So when did the K9 come in? I'm just trying to tie it all in.
Okay. So I get promoted to sergeant in 2006. I become a team leader in 2008.
Okay.
2010, I get demoted. There was 150 layoffs and 65 were demoted.
Like a budget thing, or was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They clipped the police department, but the fire department promoted and hired.
That's usually how it goes. But we'll continue. Yep. That's usually how it goes.
And then 2013, well, I got demoted for 18 months. I got re-promoted.
Okay.
And then 2013, there's opportunity to go to K9. And that's when I got my first dog, was November of 2013.
Now, were you still ERT during all this time?
Yeah, ERT and K9 that was one umbrella.
Oh, that's so. again, I'm just trying to explain because people who are in law enforcement, that's crazy. Those are usually completely separate things that you're talking about.
I'll explain why.
Go ahead.
So we had a bunch of dogs. We had 4 dogs beforehand. 2013, they asked for more handlers because now K9, we need dogs that can work in and around a tactical unit.
Yep.
So the dogs that we're getting, they're a little more social, and we trained with LAPD.
Okay.
With their head trainer. He comes out to Jersey, trains us, and we get the dog certified through LAPD. And now these dogs are rocking and rolling, working in tactical environments. So it's a little bit different. We use our dogs a lot for narcotic stuff, but then when it comes to he's doing canine searches, open air or close quarters, they got to be able to work in and around a team, and that's what these dogs were. So to have like a bunch of guys that were used to being around a dog, that makes it a lot easier because now you're not having just regular patrolmen come in or a little gunshot with dogs because they get brushed up on you and things like that, and having guys that are used to being around the dogs, it's a little more, it's a lot less stress for the handler too.
Were they bite dogs, Vic, too, or not?
Yeah,
really?
I was about to say, were they like dual purpose?
Dual purpose, yeah.
Okay. But they were more like they were friendlier to people than normal working dogs, right?
I don't want to say friendlier to people. They were they knew that they knew the game. Yeah. They knew that once they knew their function. But that's, again, you're talking about training and drilling and doing this. Yeah. You're talking about collateral duties. Like this K9 was every day. It's like every day you go to work, you're doing something.
Yeah.
Whether it's an article search or you go find an abandoned house and you're doing, movements with the dog. You can't deploy a robot and then expect your dog to work around a robot without training that first.
Yeah, for sure.
And drones and things like that. These dogs were dialed they were able to work through that stuff. Flashbangs, shooting. We brought them out to the range.
What kind of dogs did you guys use?
We used Malinois mostly. We had a couple Shepherds.
Yeah.
But I had 2 Mouths.
Yeah, Delta was big with Malinois. I think they still are. I remember my buddy showed me a video when I was down shooting he was a handler when he was in, and they're in a Black Hawk, and his dog, it's awesome. The dog was huge, first off. It had since passed away when he was showing me, but the dog was huge, but it's like sticking his head out through the operators are hanging out the side of they're in Iraq, they're flying there, and the dog's like sticking his head out. I'm like, what's he doing? He's like, and my buddy goes, oh, he knows we're going to work. So he knows he's going to get to bite people. So he's excited.
Oh, they know.
Yeah.
But that's you get them acclimated with, getting on the armored truck, and they're in the locked door, and you drive around and got the guys in full gear and helmets and all that. They don't, and once you get into where they know that they're going to pay no mind to anybody else, they might eyeball a few guys on the way in, but that's part of the game.
No, for sure. And I've talked to a few K9 handlers, one on the show, you're now the second one, but in my career path, and it's either like, he's the fucking best, or she, whatever, and, or they'll be like, he's a fucking asshole and he knows what he does. Like they just have their own personality.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially when it's time to work. That's, if you watch, if you grab a dog by the harness and he's ready to go, he might turn around on you, but he's not trying to hurt you. He's just trying to say, let me go. Like I got work to do here.
Yeah.
I can handle this.
So you're a glutton for punishment is what it sounds like to me. Because
I had a lot of hats on that team.
Yeah, but what did I tell you, Tyler? Vic's not the smartest guy in the world.
But he could do it over and over again. Yeah. So that's all that matters, bro.
I was also a explosives handler and the head breacher.
Oh, jeez, bro. All right. Well, could you explain the difference between those two? Since I mean, I know what that is, but for people,
so you had a manual, mechanical breaching, ballistic breaching. Those were all under one umbrella, and then you had entered explosives into the mix. You had 4 explosive handlers. Once I left, there was 4 of us. So they're basically, I guess, like you said, gluttons for punishment. They're breachers, and they kind of just fall under that whole umbrella, and then they want to take on the explosive aspect of it too as their collateral duty, that's another not easy task.
No, for sure. You're handling it. You're dealing with it. You're setting up. You're charging it. Yeah.
I missed that. That was fun.
You loved it. All right.
That was like my number one love.
It's its own fucking specialty though. Like I've talked to, people are experts.
Well, Tyler, also Vic's not a small guy. He's Vic. What are you, like 6'2", 6'3"?
I'm 6'1", weigh about 245 pounds.
Yeah, he's a big dude. He's not like he looks like a normal guy there, but he's like, I mean, Tyler's a little bit bigger than you. Like
Tyler's
I'm like,
a lot of bit bigger.
yeah,
What are you talking
I'm
about?
the midget of the group here, but I wanted Tyler to know, like, Vic's a big dude. He's not like he's a perfect guy for a breacher. It's like,
Yeah,
Listen.
but that's the mistake. Like
Yeah.
a lot of the bigger guys, they want to muscle it through, but it's all technique, and you got to know
Yeah.
how the door works and things like that. There's a lot of variables to that.
No, 100%. Listen, we had Devaney on here, and that guy, he looks like he's 5'8" and a $120 soaking wet, but he's an assassin. So his size,
dude,
yeah.
Vic, I met guys who are like, yeah, did you know this guy, Staff Sergeant? I mean, First Sergeant Devaney's like, yeah, man, he used to train the MPs. He would kick the shit out of us and everything like that.
He's not a big dude.
He's not a big dude, but he's deadly, bro.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
I got to tell a funny story about big dudes here. Like,
go ahead.
And Vic, it's not like one of the stories like you think you're going to hear, like when you go to the city. No, I'm kidding. We're in Korea in 2001 with the Marines, and me and my buddy Matt Danner. He's still in. He's a full bird, but he was also a prior enlisted mortarman at 0341. And him and I are walking on. We had to go get flags from we're on a ROK Marine Corps base. We have to go to the ROK Marine Corps battalion to get their flags for like a ceremony that's going on later tonight. And Matt's a big dude. Matt's like 6'4". He's a little smaller than you, Tyler, but he's like, Tyler,
yeah.
like, and we see these ROK Marines, like this Republic of Korea Marines, and they're doing an 81 millimeter mortar. That's, Matt's like, oh, I want to go check that out. Like, I want to see what type the Koreans use, if it's like similar. So he goes up there. It's me, Matt, and then we have this like corporal who's an American Marine, but he's of Korean descent. So he's our translator for us. So we go up to them, and now I'm bigger than most of the Koreans, and I'm 5'10". I'm like a $195 now. Probably back then I was like a $180 or something like that. I'm bigger than most of the Koreans. And the corporal asks, is like, hey, the lieutenant here wants to take a look at the mortar tube, and they're like, yeah, sure thing. So my buddy Matt picks it up, one-handed, and he's like, and a mortar tube's heavy, bro. I don't remember, is it 68 pounds? It's pretty heavy. I don't remember, because I wasn't a mortarman. And, it's like, oh, he's like checking it out. It's Korean. And then all the Korean mortar team, they're all sitting there. They're all like, they're like, all talking to each other. And I go to the corporal. I'm like, are they pissed off at us or something? He goes, no, they've never seen anybody pick up a mortar tube one-handed before. And and my buddy Matt's like, oh, sorry.
No, for sure.
It's just funny how they because they were like sitting there just like talking to themselves. I'm like, shit, are we calling it international incident right now and shit?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I love it. I'm sorry, just kind of getting back. So you're a sergeant, you're ERT, you're a breacher, explosive breacher, and a K9 handler. And you have a child.
2 children at that point.
And so you gotten remarried? You just had it, whatever.
I did. I got remarried 2016.
Bro,
17.
Are you okay that your life has it slowed down at all? I mean, my goodness.
No.
Oh my God.
I love chaos in my life.
Bro, again, I'm trying not to get into the weeds, but I understand what all those things are. Those are all like individual career paths for most law enforcement people in law enforcement, and you were doing them all at the same time.
Yes.
So you were never home. You were always working, and
Correct.
you were always getting called. Your phone was always ringing, and
yes. My wife hated it. Yes.
Well, so second wife though at this because you're
she gone.
Yeah, but let me rephrase this. So your second wife though, you were fully in. Like, I am a cop, and this is what I do. So kind of had a rough idea.
Well, you guys dated for a while before you got married, Vic, too, right?
We did. I think we were engaged for like. We were together for 10 years before we even got married.
Oh yeah, tell her I say hi. Say Adam says hi. Hi.
Well, I think
I know her too, Tyler. That's why.
I think it might help because I've talked to guys and girls for that matter, whatever. When it's like when they have a relationship prior to getting the law enforcement, not always, but it's sometimes very rough. They're like, I didn't sign up for this, the partner, right? But go ahead.
Yeah. So the team always came first.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
It's just how
those are your guys. Yeah. If I'm not there, something bad could happen.
Team always, I came first.
Yeah.
Then doing my stuff with the kids, like hockey and other sports, just that was secondary. And like whenever we had free time, we just made the best of it. That's kind of how my career rolled. And, not taking anything away from her, she put up with it for all those years. And she knew that the team came first.
Yeah. Be it
She
on
did.
date night or birthday or holiday, phone rings. I
Yeah.
gotta go. Yeah.
A couple,
Tyler, she's
yeah,
pretty
there was a couple
hardcore,
times that
man.
happened.
She boosted up with us and stuff. Like she's
Well,
hard. Listen, I'll put it this way: outside of being married to Vic, she tolerated me, so it's definitely a good thing.
that's a whole nother full-time job.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a whole other full-time job.
Well, Vic, I'm going to say this right now because I do really want to touch on a couple of things. I would like to have you back on because I would like to dig into kind of the aspects of those different, I mean, professions, really. I mean, you had a bunch wearing so many hats. I do want to dig into that, but I want to touch on a couple other things that we discussed. And I think,
But again, we were full-time. So like,
yeah, but that's still
training,
crazy, man.
Looking back on it, it wasn't crazy. It was stupid. Like,
I mean, secretly, me, jealousy, because that's all fun shit. Like, that is fun shit to do. Like, I get the drive to want to do it, and I would love to be like, anyway, we're going to save that for part 2 when you come back, because I would
love to do part 2.
I do want to get back. I want to get into that, but I want to talk about like the transitioning out, because that's a whole nother topic, and you had to start another career. But
so is a part 3?
There might be a part 3. Well, no, I'm going to ask you a couple more questions. So I want to talk about what you're doing now, because you did, was it 25 years?
Yeah. So my 25 years includes my ambulance time. So
yeah, I gotcha.
99, again, I started in 96.
Yeah.
So that little bit of time, when I went to the police academy, we had a director of personnel. He was upstairs in the same building in headquarters.
Yeah.
And I knew who he was. But he came downstairs. I got pulled out of the academy class. I'm like, oh boy, I just got here. Like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And this guy hands me this sheet of paper. He's like, sign this. You'll thank me later.
Okay.
And I had no idea what I was signing.
Awesome.
And then when I told, like, this guy, he came down. He's like, maybe sign some paper. They're like, you're transitioning, you're transferring your pension.
Okay.
And you're buying your time.
Yeah.
So it's all under one pension.
And you did thank him later.
He's dead now, so I can't thank him.
Oh, well, all right, fair enough. Disregard. You would have, I would assume.
It's fucking typical Vic right there. Yeah, he's dead right now, so.
Okay, fair enough.
He's
so we are, table it, part 2. But so you come to the end. Sometimes that's a big deal for a lot of guys. A lot of guys that have done this for so long, especially in the capacity that you were in, because that's fun. It's exciting, time consuming. You've made it the number one priority in your life for a very long time. And now it's like, it's over. And I'm sure, everyone was like, dude, we're going to miss you, Levy. But really, the day you left, the next day, everyone kept going, right?
Train keeps rolling, buddy. That's how it works.
We're just cogs in the machine, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
But how did you process that? Like, how did you deal with that?
Okay. So
go ahead.
I know there's a lot to unpack here. So I had cancer twice.
Oh, I forgot. See, we got all and the other stuff. You're dealing with cancer at the same time, bro. Twice. Touch on that. Sorry. Touch on that.
2 times. Yeah.
God dang, bro.
So 2001, 9/11 happens. I go running over there.
Yeah.
And I got the scars to prove it. So 2019, I had a thyroidectomy.
Okay.
I was out. That's a pretty relatively easy cancer. It was all contained within the thyroid. So I got back to work.
If you say so, I'll take your word for it. Still sounds awful.
Yeah, that's the one. If you want to get one, that's the one to get.
Okay.
There was a guy that went out he got his knee scoped to get his knee cleaned up.
Yeah.
And my goal was to beat him back to work. And I did.
Damn.
Nice.
So I was there for I was only out for maybe a month and a half, 2 months tops.
Dude, that's
plus I want to get back in the game, man. I had shit piling up on my desk.
Dealing with cancer, you're like, I got work to do, man. I got stuff I got to get to.
You got to take medication because of that every day, right?
Yeah, it's not like your meds, but it's just a little 2 pills I got to take. It's not bad.
No, my meds are. I got a fucking tablet table full of them.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, it's analgesic. It's analgesic, Adam, not analgesic.
The doctor keeps telling me that, and I keep messing it up.
So then 2022, my wife gets diagnosed with Langerhans cell histiocytosis, which is a blood cancer, and it's forming nodules in her lungs.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. So you're also your wife. Okay.
So she gets diagnosed in 2022.
Yeah.
So she decides she's going to go for chemo to eradicate this. It was either that or she would get some sort of pill that would kind of suppress the white blood cells. And she opted for the chemo just to eradicate it.
Knock it out. Yeah.
Yes. So her first day of treatment at Sloan Kettering, I call her and say, I just got diagnosed with colon cancer.
Jesus, bro.
Yeah.
Just going one after the other on you.
Oh, yeah.
You're a fucking downer, Vic.
I am kind of a downer.
You gave her cancer. You get cancer. I mean, what a fucking douche.
That's how it works, right? And Adam, to your point, she is a badass if she's dealing with that. And opting for the chemo. A lot of people run for the hills with that. So
Nah,
I'm
that
checking
was
what
a
you're saying.
very easy answer for her. So
wow. So now you're both dealing with chemo. You have kids. You have all the other stuff.
mhm.
And how long were you out for that one?
So that's the one that kind of made me hit the button.
Really?
I had the time. I was out sick. Everything was kind of falling apart
Yeah.
where I was in Paterson as far as like,
The climate.
yeah, we'll keep it
Yeah.
Yep.
political. The
Yep.
climate was definitely changed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I heeded the warnings. I was ready to go back. The doctor cleared me and I was ready to go. And my wife just started crying. And she's like, I know what you're going to do. You're going to go back and you're going to try to right the wrongs. And you're going to be there for another 10 years
Yeah.
because you're not going to fix anything.
Or you're going to end up on an IA desk and
That's
and lose
probably
everything.
where I was going to end up.
So
I've
because
been there a couple times. I got you.
so
And it's not the people outside the building; it's people inside the building.
yeah,
No, yep.
I know.
100% correct.
And but
I'll tell you that when offline.
And
Yes,
because when I retired in July of 2022, and Vic, you did December 2022.
yes,
And I remember I had some time to burn. I mean, Vic's cooler than me. He had cancer. I haven't had it. I just, I mean, we talked about like, Lucy having it and stuff like that. I think
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons that like I consider Vic a really good fucking friend and shit, because he knows, and he always checked in and shit like that. So he was always a good guy. But I remember like, I was like, okay, I put my paperwork in May. So I had like 45 days or something. I'm like, you know what I'll do? Lucy was still in treatment. We still think we were still thinking like, maybe she'll beat this and stuff like that. I'm going to retire just so I can spend as much time with her and everything. And I'm like, the last 45 days, I'm like, I was burning leave.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just going to take overtime. I'm going to work overtime. I'm going to work traffic details and shit like that, because I was making like 110 an hour or something like that. And my buddy's like, don't do that, dude. He's like, don't do that. He goes, because he knew I was fucking angry about everything.
Yeah.
And I was pissed off with some of the people in the department. I was pissed off in the world with everything with Lucy. He's like, you're going to get out there. You're going to be in a traffic detail and you're just going to tell some resident to fuck off or something. And they're going to complain. And it's Vic, like you said, it wasn't as bad as Paterson, but the political environment right now, you're going to get fucking stuck, and you're going to get like in an investigation, and you're just not. He goes, just don't come in, just don't take the overtime. Don't worry, you'll find with money. Just fucking leave. And I was like, shit, he's right. And I probably would have fucking yelled at somebody or punched somebody in the face, be like, can I make a left? What do you fucking think? You see the cop car with the lights on? That's probably how it would have been. Like, you fucking see the cones? No, there's a big hole in the street. So,
Yeah. No, for sure. So you hit the button, Vic, you hit the button.
Yeah. After watching my wife cry, that was time.
That's a rough one. I understand what you're saying. That's a rough one. And so then what kind of happened? Because you started another career, but there was some space in between.
Yeah. So I hit the button, and then I was just like, you think of all the time, the effort, the amount of like knowledge and experience that you had.
Yeah.
And it's just gone. Because if you look at a resume, my resume looks good for police work, but it's not good for any other job. Like, nobody gives a shit.
You can be
I learned that the hard way.
So that's kind of like that was very tough for me to swallow.
Yeah.
It was very tough for me to swallow. So I had a hard time dealing with that mentally. So I found a job in a neighboring town. I worked at the schools for a little bit. I figured maybe it's like still police work, and decided to go back to school and get my bachelor's degree.
Okay. So
that's what prompted me to go back to school. So I worked at the schools, was going to school myself.
Yeah.
And it didn't scratch the itch.
Yeah. Well, especially with what you were doing, dude. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
like,
you're going from like 100
shit.
miles an hour to like a screeching halt in a matter of time. And it's just like, you look at, working in school. It's some guys love it. They love the hours. They love the schedule. They love being around the kids. I'm just like, this isn't for me, dude.
It's the most boring thing in the world.
Yeah.
It's the most boring thing in the world.
I'm not knocking anybody that's into that. Or, it's just not my jam.
Yeah.
And, it was great while it lasted. And, I met a lot of good people. And then I went to corporate America, dude.
So we got like 10 more minutes. And then, like I said, you're coming back. So we'll get into the other stuff. I can hear people, my own brain screaming like, you got so many other questions. And I do. Corporate America, from what you just described, what are we doing? What does that look like for you?
Very, very different.
Yeah, bro.
Very different.
Yeah, and you're in New York, right?
Yep, I'm in New York City.
Yeah, bro. Go ahead. Yeah, that's all right.
No. Listen, I'm a city guy.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
Paterson's a city.
you love it,
It's
Vic. You tell me all the time. You're like
I do.
happy there as hell, which is
I
awesome.
do. I do love the city. I love going to the city. The job is great. People are great. I work with former law enforcement guys are on my team.
Yeah.
It's they're NYPD guys mostly, and they're great dudes. It's like everything kind of align. Like our values and our views align as far as like the job itself.
Yeah.
And we're just looking to make things better.
Yeah.
And that's like like I said, corporate America is very different than law enforcement America.
For sure. How long you been doing this new gig?
So this new gig started, it's very recent. So I've only been there for about 2 months.
Okay, really recent. Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah. So I left the schools in June, and then I went basically right to this job. And now, I'm reading everything, their policies, procedures, all that stuff for security, and I'm just like finding, just like I'm like, how can we do this better?
Somebody who's never done tactics wrote it, and you're like, clearly.
Yep, that's the
For
truth
sure.
of the matter.
Yes.
Most of the time.
Well, let me say this. Let me just clarify a couple of things. I have worked in many cities. I like visiting the cities, but I live in a townhome community right now, and I feel like this is my neighbors are too close. I like being in the woods where I don't know anybody unless I want to. Like that's
Listen,
my
woods
world.
people are very scary.
Yeah.
I'd rather be in a city.
Vic,
Well,
I don't think Tyler would do good in Paterson.
I tell everyone I thrive in grime.
Oh my God. So that would be the hard part. But let me say this, and you correct me if I'm wrong, because you're working in the city.
Yes.
New Yorkers, like, if they don't know you, can be very, we'll just say rough. We'll just phrase it that way. But some of the best people I know, like they grew up in New York, like in the city, like one of the boroughs or whatever. I mean, and what I would call horrible concrete jungle. But if you get to know them, like, where they invite you to their home, that level, they're some of the best fucking people you ever meet.
Oh yeah, because that's like,
It's
you
just
think about New York City, it kind of overflowed into North Jersey, like for where me and Adam are from.
Yeah.
That's like, if you really think about it, that's like kind of what happened.
Yeah, that's why I always get like when people are like people from Jersey, I'm like, no man, people from Jersey are like yeah, we have a reputation, but it's like I've lived in a bunch of other states. I've been to almost all the states, and like people in other states are assholes too. Like the people like, oh, the South were really nice and everything. I'm like, yeah, okay, look at your history. Okay,
I'm from the South. No, we're not.
You guys don't
I'm from
really
the
have
South. No, we're not.
Yeah, you guys don't have the best the best. You're not the nicest Southern charm. And yeah, okay. Like I've seen where like people like in Jersey, like like hey, like they call like Vic, you've probably seen it too, and like. Yeah, someone just got hit by a car. We're here helping them and stuff like that. And you hear stories in other states where people get hit by a car and they just keep driving and shit like that. It happens everywhere. So,
I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's that like if they know you enough to invite you into their home, that type of deal, they are the most genuine. I mean, they'll fucking die for you. They'll give you the shirt off their back. But it's like until you get to that level, arm's distance, that kind of that bravado, that demeanor. You know what I mean? Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, 100%. That's but that's how it was growing up for me. Like that's the same thing. If you people ask you questions, they're meddling in your business. You know what I mean? So that's like that's just how it is, right? And I guess that's like New York is kind of the same way. It's like, but that's that whole neighborhood mentality, like I was talking about before, like growing up in Paterson, the whole community. Everybody knows each other and things like that. But once you're outside,
fuck are you? What are you doing down on our street? Like I'm going to Scott's house. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, he told us about you. Like they're looking out for each other.
That's for sure.
Yeah,
that's what it's like.
No, for sure.
Talk about community caretaking.
Yeah, no. Well, so I understand what you're saying, and I got a little bit of it when I was in Maine. But again, the town I was in had 13,000 people. That's not. I'm not even trying to compare the two. That's not what I'm doing. But just that understanding of taking care of your community, I get it. But look, I respect your time. We are going to have you back on. I have questions that I would love to ask you.
We didn't even scratch the surface.
Yeah.
Dude.
Wait.
No, dude, I know. That's what I'm trying to say. Like we've been going for over an hour and a half, and it's like
I got to tell the.
Oh, we got to do the Steve-O story, but we are. Okay. He's coming back because I need more.
So I met Vic through a buddy that I grew up with my whole life. That it was on with Vic. He was on the team with him and everything like that. So I met like Vic and a bunch of other like. those guys, and Steve was one of them. And like I met him before. I think Vic, I met you before I went in the Marines or after. I don't even.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I met you. Yeah. So I've known you for a while. So when I was on active duty and come home on leave, like we would go boozing in the city all the time, and we'd fucking go boozing everywhere. Like it was like it's just a crew of us that would go, and it was like just a fucking fun time, bro. Nobody was
buses.
like,
We would get charter buses.
yeah, we go into the city for New Year's. We charter like 2 buses usually. But
Yeah.
like our buddy Steve-O is a fucking lunatic. He's the fucking
Not a cop.
not a cop,
Not a cop.
he
got
was
it.
a computer guy. He was a truck driver first. So he was a truck driver.
Truck driver
first.
to computer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's
He
weird
was a
mix.
truck driver to pay to go to his computer school. Okay.
Okay.
And
All right.
Vic, you went to school with Steve-O, right? Or yeah.
No,
Oh,
I inherited Steve-O from my old roommate.
yeah. So that's how he ended up. But dude, Steve-O's the nicest dude in the world. I've never met a person that said Steve-O's an asshole. Never met a fucking person in the world. Great, nicest dude in the world. Fucking like you can hit him in the head with a beer bottle and he'd start cracking up and shit like that. But so one night we're fucking boozing it up. I don't remember. I don't even know if we were in the city or if we were in Jersey. But we go back.
No,
to
we were at his house.
Yeah,
Not Steve-O's house.
Pete's
Nino's house where we were at.
Yeah, Pete.
Yes.
We'll just say Pete's name. And we're at Pete's house and we're fucking annihilated. And Steve-O used to smoke at the time.
Marlboro Reds.
He went fucking all out.
Rugged dude.
And our buddy Pete lives on a fucking steep hill. Okay, like this. Steve-O's in jeans and has no shirt on. And did he have a fucking pint or a bottle?
A bottle.
Yeah, a bottle of beer. He has no shirt on. Pete has a skateboard at the house or something. Or I don't know if Steve-O had it. Somebody had a skateboard. Steve-O.
I was a skater punk growing up.
Yeah, it was yours then, right?
Yeah, we got to add to the list. Yeah.
And Steve-O he's just fucking talking and he's like, watch this, guys. Beer in one hand, cigarette in the other, just jeans on, no shirt. And it's like February or March or something like that. It's fucking, he goes fucking down the hill and we're all sitting there like, oh my God, he's going to die. Goes down the hill, fucking perfectly fine, comes walking back. Hey guys, what's going on? That's like, it's a fucking Steve-O story.
You just saw the glow of the cigarette going down the hill at about 100 miles an hour.
I'm like,
into the night. That's all you saw was a little glow.
I think somebody probably said, Vic, I hope you still remember how to do like road rash and everything from your EMT days and shit.
The whole story was because I actually, the hill next to him on Gordon.
Yeah.
I did the same thing as a kid and I wiped and I had road rash. And then I told him that story and he was like, I'm going to make it down this hill. That's how that whole thing started.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That he was going to stay on his board and I bailed.
Vic, you didn't go whitewater rafting with us that one time in 2012, did you?
No.
Oh no, I was in the raft with Steve.
I was fighting demons in 2012.
Oh.
Yeah, bro. He had a lot going on, dude.
Yeah, no, I know. But Steve-O was on that rafting, dude. It was absolute. I think I threw a fish and fucking hit Pete in the head. He was in another raft. And I picked it up. Asked Steve-O about it, and I picked it and I threw it like a dead like trout or something like this big, and I whizzed it at Pete.
Vic, real quick, I'll tell you my skater experience. I was a skater till 7th grade, and I thought Janko jeans. Oh my God, there's your cap.
No, God, don't Janko jeans.
Oh my God,
dude. That's what ruined skateboarding, dude.
But no. So, but that was my whole deal, right? And then, I was pop shove it. I was doing all those things. I don't even remember all the terms now, but I was doing my thing. And then one of my buddies built a ramp in his backyard, and we were doing it, and everything was good. I just was going up like I was like, oh, I got this. I'm gonna do a trick, and I landed just like this. Bam! Broke my ass bone.
Nice.
I remember just popping up. I grabbed my board. I threw it in the trash can. I walked home, and I've never skated since. That hurt so fucking bad. I was like, "There's no way I'm ever doing this again." Anyway, that's the extent of my skater experience.
Oh man,
awesome. Well, guys, let's wrap this one up.
All right. What do you say?
Do we
Adam undersold you?
We talked about nothing I did.
No. We are though. But the scope. Adam undersold the level of experience. He's like, yeah, he's a great guy. He's done a bunch of stuff. You know, he's 20.
I know. I feel bad.
Oh
I know all this stuff Vic did and everything like that. I always.
Yeah, but
I just wanted to hang out with Vic and shoot the shit with him, bro. It's just fun. It's just fun
that's
hanging
basically
out.
what you did.
Yeah.
Who's being interviewed here, Adam?
You.
Yeah, I know. Vic, we're gonna have you back on, maybe with or without Adam. We'll see.
Just fucked up. Like I
You just
find
mute
this.
him, Tyler. You just mute him.
Yeah.
Just boop.
You guys are dicks, bro.
No, bro, but I appreciate it. Adam undersold you, but I didn't realize we didn't even get into the police stuff, which I do want to talk about because that's another layer, and just the policing, how it changed, especially in what I would deem a larger city over the course of your career. And then again, wearing all those different hats and how that, again, you seem to just be like, yeah, it was fun. It was cool. It was great. But I was like, that's a lot, bro. That's
No, dude, I lived at that place.
Yeah. Well,
but
yeah.
But that's the thing with Vic. Like, I'm so used to him. He's just like, yeah, I did that. Like, he's not like, he's not bragging. He's not being a dick. It's Vic. That's it, man. That's like, it's just Vic,
Just Vic being Vic.
That's why we love him all. That's why everybody loves him.
Damn right. Well, let's wrap this up. Don't go anywhere because I'm going to tell you my IA story. But Vic, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you coming back. We'll work out the details because Adam and I are going to LA next week.
Okay.
And then, but no, definitely, because now there's just like a whole wealth of stuff. I wrote down a bunch of notes, so I'll have more questions for you.
Yeah, sounds good.
You probably just drew a bunch of penises.
That was for you. That was all your commentary.
Okay. Well,
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right.